again, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. Hope all of you are doing really well today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm doing pretty spiffy because, yep, it's that time of the week where I'm going to show you a new project. It's lovely. It's lacy. It works up so darn fast, and it's only a 2-row repeat. This is the Iris Shawl. It is perfect for the oncoming spring months, and I think that it is gorgeous. You guys know I love quick, easy, lacy shawls, and this is, of course, no exception. I did this project. This was with Red Heart Super Saver Ombre in their lovely purple colorway. I thought that it lent itself rather nicely to the project. And also I used a 6mm size J crochet hook. You can, of course, use whatever works best for you. We have a couple of setup rows, and then we get into the 2-row repeat. It's really simple. Gonna walk you through it, no problem whatsoever. And without further ado, let's get started. First things first with row 1. Actually, I'm going to be using, this is also Red Heart Super Saver. This is in the colorway of their light gray. It'll be a little bit easier for you to see. So going to start off with a slip knot as per usual. There we are. And a chaining of 4. The first chain is actually where we're going to work our stitches into. Now, if you would prefer, chain 4 and then slip stitch to the initial chain to create a ring, and then work your stitches within the ring. Me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my stitches into this first chain. Either or is totally acceptable. So I already have 1. I need 3 more. So that's going to be our first double crochet and a ring to work our stitches into. And I'm going to need 8 more into this chain right here. So let's work 8 doubles into that chain. We're going to have a total of 9. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then, of course, you can cinch this closed and sew in your end, and you'll be good to go. So you've got 9 doubles, and that is the end of row 1. Okay, row 2, we're going to fan out our doubles just a little bit. Start off by chaining up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to count as a double crochet and a chain 1 space. Turn your work, double crochet, not into this first one, but into the next double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet into the next, and so on and so forth until we have 9 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces. So we already got 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 more. 8, and then the last one is, yes, a little bit fiddly, but we're going to do it. So into that very last double, try to get in there the best you can. There we go. And double crochet. And there you are. So yes, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 separated by our chain 1 spaces. Ta-dam! The end of row 2. Okay, so technically the next 2 rows, rows 3 and 4, are the repeat. However, we really don't have much to work with, so we'll get to that. So row 3, we are going to start creating some large lacy bits. So start off by chaining up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now that is going to count as a treble crochet and a chain 4 space. So turn the work, yarn over twice, and into this very first stitch, going to do a treble crochet. So we yarned over twice, so insert, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So we have ourselves 2 trebles separated by a chain 4 space. And then chain 2, and we're going to anchor it down, skipping this first double, anchoring it down into the second with a single crochet, like so. Then we have to work our way back up. Chain 2, and then skipping a double, going into the next with a treble. So yarn over twice, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now this is actually the center spine, and that is where we're going to do our increase. So we're going to have 2 of these large loops at the center spine. So we need a total of 3 trebles. So we already have 1. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarning over twice, treble into that same stitch, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarning over twice, and treble into that same stitch. There we go. So we've got 3 trebles into that center spine stitch. Now we have to anchor it down. So chain 2, skip the next double, single into the next, chain 2, working our way back up because we need a large eyelet right at the end here. So going to do a treble into this last double, which for us it's going to be the 3rd chain from the bottom or the 2nd from the top. Either or is fine. Now technically you could just do your stitch in this space, but it looks a lot better if you actually go into the chain. So going to do my treble into that stitch right there. And then chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarning over twice, and treble into that same stitch. Again, yes, it can be a little bit fiddly, but it is worth the extra effort. And there you go. So that is the end of row 3. Now this doesn't look like much at the moment, but we didn't do the petals yet. You know, we have the foundation for them, but now we've got the petals, so let's get to it. Okay, row 4. So row 4, I'm going to start off with a chaining of 2, and that's going to count as my first double crochet. If you are in the tradition of doing a chaining of 3 for your first double, that's fine. Me personally, I like to do a chaining of 2 because I find that it makes my edges look a little bit cleaner. So chaining up of 2, and then into this chain 4 space, 3 doubles, there we go, and that gives us a total of 4 doubles. Now It's only on the edge petals, if you will, that we start with 4 and then we end with 4. Otherwise, it's 3. Don't worry, we'll get there. So from here, after doing our 4 doubles, chain 2, and then 3 more doubles in this same chain space. Okay, 1 more. There we go. Okay, and so we have 4, and then we have 3 separated by a chain 2 space. Then we're going to anchor this down by doing a single crochet into this chain 2 space. Single, then chain 1, single into the next chain 2 space. So single, chain 1, single. And then we need to do petals in our center spine. So it's going to be 2 groups, 2 pairs of petals. So scooting into this first chain space, 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. Oops. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 3 more doubles, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then for the second pair, going to first chain 1, then we're going to go in with our 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles in this eyelet. So 3 doubles, chain 2, and 3 doubles, there we go. Then we have to anchor it down with a single crochet into the chain 2 space, chain 1, single crochet into the next chain 2 space. Oops. There we go. And then we need to do another pair of petal stitches here. So that's going to be 3 doubles, chain 2, oops, and then we're going to finish with 4 doubles. So 1, 2, 3, and then finish off with a double crochet into the third chain from the bottom. Sometimes it helps if you sort of twist your chain a little bit to see better. So it's 1, 2, and 3 into that third chain. There we go. Do your 4th double. And there you are. Nice clean edge. It's what I always try to go for whenever applicable. And that is the end of row 4. So technically speaking, that was a repeat. However, I'm not satisfied with that. No, I want to be thorough. I'm going to keep going, and we shall. So let's keep at it. Okay, so now I think it's safe to say that we are at the repeat rows, rows 5 and 6. Okay, so going to start off once again with the large eyelet. So that's a chaining up of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Turn the work. Treble crochet into this very first stitch right here. So we have our first eyelet there. Then chain 2, single crochet into this chain 2 space, chain 2, and then we're going to do another large eyelet into this chain 1 space right here. So yarning over twice, treble crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 4, another treble crochet in the chain 1 space, there we go. Then anchor it down by chaining 2 and single crochet into the next chain 2 space. And there we go, all set up for another bunch of petals on the following row. Okay, we have reached the center spine once again. So if you remember, we're going to need 3 trebles in this center spine space right here, but we have to get there first. Chain 2, and then treble crochet into that chain 1 space, chain 4, treble crochet, chain 4 again, treble crochet once again in that chain 1 space, and then anchor it down by chaining 2 and single crochet in the next chain 2 space. So that is our center spine ready to go for another pair of petals on either side of the center spine. Now it might help you actually to put a stitch marker in this vicinity so that you don't lose track. I've done it myself. So yeah, if you have a stitch marker, you can place it perhaps around this post here or a scrap of yarn, just so that, you know, it's a nice gentle reminder, yes, this is where you need to increase. So from here, going to work our way up again. So chaining 2, 1 and 2, and then into this chain 1 space, we need another petal eyelet, perhaps we'll call that. So another treble, chain 4, and another treble to finish the eyelet, there we go, and then anchor it down by chaining 2 and single crochet into the chain 2 space. And then we need one more eyelet at the very end here. So chain 2, and then a treble crochet into the top of this first double crochet slash last double crochet, depends on how you look at it, but into the second chain from the bottom, because I only chained up 2. So that second chain, do a treble. Okay, and then chain 4 and treble crochet into that same stitch to finish our eyelet. And there you go. So that is row 5. So I have a feeling you can see where this is going, but we are going to keep going, so let's get to it. Okay, row 6. So start off by chaining 2, turn the work, 3 doubles into this chain 4 space, there we are. And then chain 2, 3 doubles in the same space, Okay, and then we have to anchor it down. So single into the chain 2 space, chain 1, single into the next chain 2 space, and then, well, more petals. So that's 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. Three doubles, chain 2, 3 more doubles, okay, gonna pull out more yarn here. All right, and then anchor this down with a single in the chain 2 space, chain 1, single into the next chain 2 space, and then, yes, we need more petals, and this is our central spine right here, so it's going to be 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles, chain 1, and then another 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. It's 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, and 3. Anchor it down with a single in the chain 2 space, chain 1, single in the next chain 2 space, then more petals, 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. There we go. Okay, so I got the 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 more doubles, and I have to pull out more yarn again. Of course I do. Okay. Anchor this petal down with a single in the chain 2 space, chain 1, single in the next chain 2 space, then 1 more petal to go. So that's going to be 3 doubles, chain 2, and going to finish with 4 doubles. We started with 4, we're going to finish with 4. So 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th double, it's going to be the 3rd chain from the bottom right here. There we go. Ta-da! Now, what you can do is if you find that the shape of your shawl is not behaving and it's not laying flat, well, what you could do is instead of following my example of doing a chain 2 for your doubles and a chain 7 for your treble and chain 4 space, you could add an additional chain and work into that additional chain. So instead of working into the 3rd from the bottom, you'd work in the 4th from the bottom. Or instead of working into the 2nd from the bottom, it would be the 3rd from the bottom. I hope that that makes sense, but you can make some adjustments based on your tension, your gauge, because, well, you know, me, in my opinion, most of the time, I like for the tops of the shawls to remain straight and flat, unless, of course, if you're going for more of a crescent shawl shape. That was not the intention for this, but I'm just saying that that is a way that you can try to mitigate and troubleshoot if that is a problem for you. So this is a full repeat. Now, because I like to be thorough, I like spending time with you guys, and, well, I like to reduce confusion at every turn, we are going to do a full repeat of rows 5 and 6 together, and as always, there are going to be timestamps in the description box down below. So let's do a repeat, shall we? Okay, so row 5 for the repeat. I'm going to chain up 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn. Treble crochet into the very first stitch right down here. Chain 2 and single in the chain 2 space. Chain 2. Treble into the chain 1 space. Chain 4. Treble into the same space. Chain 2. And single into the chain 2 space to anchor it into place. Chain 2. Treble into the chain 1 space. Chain 4. Treble into the same space. Chain 2. Single into the chain 2 space to anchor it down. Okay, again, our center spine. All right. Chain 2. Treble into the chain 1 space. Chain 4. Treble into the same chain 1 space. Chain 4. And treble into that same space once again. Don't forget, you need a total of 3 trebles into that center space right there. Anchor it down by chaining 2 and single into the chain 2 space. Chain 2. Treble into the chain 1 space. Oops, I didn't yarn over enough times. Got to yarn over twice. Okay, so treble into that chain 1 space. See, even I make mistakes. I am not exempt. Nobody is. Okay, so we did our chain 2, treble in there, then chain 4. Treble into the same space. Chain 2. Single into the chain 2 space. Chain 2. Treble into the chain 1 space. Now, another thing that you could conceivably do is, instead of doing a single, chain 1, single, you could do 2 chains. Like if you find it's too difficult to see your chain 1 space, you could alter it. You know, nothing wrong with that. But I'm going to keep on keeping on. So I did my chain 2, my treble. Now I need to chain 4. And then another treble into that chain 1 space. My philosophy is do what works best for you. I've said it a million times, and I'll continue to do so. So chain 2, and anchor it down with a single in the chain 2 space, chain 2, and then we need another eyelet at the very end here. So in the second chain from the bottom, treble crochet, chain 4, and treble into the same stitch. And there you are. Okay, so that is row 5 for the repeat, and we shall proceed with row 6 for the repeat. Let's get to it. Last but not least, row 6 for the repeat. Okay, so going to start off by chaining up 2 for our first double, then 3 more doubles into that chain space. There we are. Chain 2, 3 more doubles in the same space. All right, and then anchor it down with a single in the chain 2 space, chain 1, single in the next chain 2 space, and then more petals in the next chain 4 space. So that's 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. Three doubles, chain 2, 3 more doubles, there we go. Anchor it down with a single in the chain 2 space, chain 1, single into the next chain 2 space, and 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles in the next chain 4 space. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3, anchor it down with a single in the chain 2 space, chain 1, single into the next chain 2 space, and we have once again reached our center spine petals. So 3 doubles, oops, okay, chain 2, 3 doubles, okay, so that's 1 petal down, chain 1, and then in the next chain 4 space, 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. And I need more yarn already. Okay. So that's my 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 more doubles, okay, then anchor it down with a single in the chain 2 space, chain 1, single in the next chain 2 space, and another grouping of petals. 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 more doubles, anchor it down with a single in the chain 2 space, chain 1, single in the next chain 2 space, and another petal. And I've got a wee bit of a tangle, no big deal. Okay, so next petal, 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. There we go. Chain 2, 3 more doubles. Anchor it down with a single in the chain 2 space, chain 1, single in the next chain 2 space, and then last but not least, we have one more petal to go. All right, so that's going to be 3 doubles, chain 2, and then we finish with 4 doubles. So 1, 2, woo, 3 went on a joyride. Okay, that's 3. And then the 4th one is the 3rd chain from the bottom. And there we go. Hee hee. Okay, and that is the end of row 6 for the repeat. And it is gorgeous. And like I said, it works up pretty darn fast because the majority of the time you're working into stitch spaces, not into actual stitches, which makes the process so much faster and easier. And well, that's why I like it. Now, as far as what row to end on, I would say it's totally up to you. If you want it to have a more lacy-edged appearance, I would say end on a row 5. If you want it to have more of a petally appearance like this, I would say end on a row 6. You know, either or is totally fine and up to you. As far as different colorways and so on and so forth, I would say pretty much go crazy because it is, you know, an overall kind of stitch pattern. Personally, I would say solid colors you can't go wrong with. Ombres, generally speaking, they're pretty darn good. Or a block of color, you know, with like one of the cake yarns like mandala. I think that would look nice as well. A quick change variegated might look a little bit muddy, but considering that it's an all-over pattern, I think it might work out actually, all things considered, because it's a fairly simplistic yet oh so pretty pattern. And well, there you go. Alrighty, my dears, so that's going to conclude today's tutorial on the Iris shawl. Really hope that you liked it, and well, if you did, please give a little thumbs up button down below. You know that I appreciate your appreciation as always. And I want to hear from you in the comments section. Let me know what sort of yarns, what sorts of colorways are you going to use for your project. Always interested in hearing about your creative process and, you know, what makes you tick. So that being said, I really want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that you liked it, and you know what to do until next time, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay stitching, and please stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now, everybody, and have a great day.